All right, we now welcome on an awesome guest. He's a Glen Allen, Virginia native, third-round draft pick by the Rangers in that 2019 NHL Entry Draft. Currently defenseman for the UMASS. Minn there, 8 goals, 15 assists, 23 points this season. Zac Jones. What's going on, man? Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Welcome.
Love it. So like we do with everybody from around here, we start kind of where it started for you. I mean, coming up in Virginia, kind of Richmond area, when did you first start playing? Who were the first club or clubs you started playing with down there?
So I probably started playing when I was about 3 years old. I mean, my dad was the equipment manager for the Renegades when they were a team. Probably, I think he stopped in 02 or 03, I think. So I was always around the rink there. I was skating with him and stuff like that, but I didn't probably start playing until I was about 3 or 4. And I think I want to say the Richmond Royals was the first team I ever played for. And then now they're the Richmond Generals. So
yeah, those purple and black hitters, right? Those
yeah,
purple and black unis. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
they were tough when back a decade ago when we were playing. More than that at this point.
Yeah, they haven't been around for a while, I feel like.
Well, yeah, dude. I feel like we've read or we've heard through the grapevine. What's this frozen slab? Was there an origin story here?
For what? Sorry.
Is there a slab in your backyard, or your dad built you a slab?
So we had a rink. It was called a little rink. It was probably 10 to 15 minutes away from my house. Like 8 dads of the couple of kids that I played with, they just decided, screw it, we're going to build a rink. And, that was huge for us. We didn't really get a ton of ice time at some of the other rinks. So this was a place that we could just go whenever, right after school, before school, whenever we wanted, just to go and work on our game.
There you go. Love it. So did you play at any other clubs outside? I guess there wasn't too many clubs down that way really outside of Richmond, right?
Yeah. So it was the Royals. And then we had a AAA team based out of Richmond, but it was a bunch of kids from all over. It was there's I think 3 or 4 kids from Richmond, and then the rest were either Northern Virginia kids or
right.
We had a couple kids from North Carolina, a kid from Pennsylvania. It was all over.
Love it. So, I mean, it kind of comes to the point where you realize you're pretty damn good. You get to like that high school age and you eventually choose the Select Academy up in Connecticut. Kind of talk about that decision to go there. Were there any other maybe potential schools you were looking at, maybe up north, Boston, Connecticut, anything like that?
South Kent?
Yeah, South Kent school. So that was my first and only choice, honestly. I knew the coaching staff there really well because I played a couple summer tournaments with them growing up. So that was the only choice the only place I really wanted to go. And hockey in Richmond isn't the greatest. You guys know that as much as I do. And, the level of play, I needed to go somewhere where I could get noticed by scouts and other people. So South Kent was a really easy choice for me. I mean, it was a great campus. I had a great time there. It was a tremendous place where I think I got a lot better.
Pretty good alumni list there too. I mean, you're playing some top high schools in the country. So was that a big jump going from Richmond to there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'd played against some kids growing up and then all the top guys, but I never really played against them regularly. So it was definitely a big jump for me, but I'd say it was a pretty easy one. After my freshman year was tough, but going into my sophomore year, I definitely had a lot more confidence. And I thought that was the biggest year for me.
And we can't just skip past, how you got there, right? We wouldn't be doing our due diligence if we didn't ask about RC.
Yeah, so I actually never played for RC.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, he was the junior coach for the Generals growing up. So I was always on the younger teams and stuff. But my dad and another dad of one of the players, Pat Kelb, there are 2 coaches growing up, probably from the time I was 10 till I left to go to South Kent.
There, love it. So kind of talk about your personal style a bit. What's your biggest strength out there on defense? I mean, and is there a guy in the NHL or maybe formerly in the NHL you model your game after?
Were you always a D-man?
I was not. I was a forward until I was probably 11, I want to say. So
okay.
I'm a pretty offensive defenseman. That's what people know about me. I mean, I'm working on my game, trying to turn into more of a 2-way defenseman, but I'd say my biggest strengths are my skating and my hands and my hockey IQ. Those are the 3 things I think I'm best at. And somebody I try to model my game after is Torrey Krug. I've loved watching him play. He was a 4-year guy in college, and he worked his way into the NHL. He didn't get drafted. He wasn't picked on any of these teams. He wasn't expected to be there, and he worked his way up, and now he's one of the top defensemen in the NHL.
I love the hockey IQ there, Bob. Not many people pump their own brain right there. You love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to ask this as a closeted Flyers fan. What was Joel Farabee like playing as a U16er?
He was unbelievable. Him and Emilio Peterson, the kid that he plays with Calgary now, they were on a line together, and it was awesome to watch. They were two of the top players in the country when I played with them. I played with Joel growing up a few times before South Ken, and they were just something special. His line probably combined for 400 points the year I played with them. It was ridiculous. They were something else.
So you got to look forward to playing against him in a few years, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
So you take the USHL route, go to Tri-City Storm. Let's talk about that rookie season a bit. I mean, all rookie team, all league second team, rookie of the year, 52 points in 56 games. What was it about that season where everything, I guess, just seemingly came so easy to you there?
I think I went the right time. I wasn't drafted the first 2 years in the USHL when I was eligible, and that kind of put a little chip on my shoulder that third year. I wanted to be a top pick. I wanted to be a guy that a team wanted me right from the get-go. So I came into a great situation in Tri-City. I was playing with a great defenseman with Ronnie Addard. He's another Philly guy. So it was awesome. I mean, everybody there helped me so much. I mean, my confidence just grew tremendously being there.
So you go from playing basically in your backyard to the best junior league in the country in a very short period of time. And you're giving credit to, your teammates and everything and your coaches for your development, but break down that's a pretty big jump. Like, can you break that down or run us through that a little bit?
Yeah, I'd say it was definitely tougher going from South Kent to juniors than it was from juniors to college. I just say my confidence wasn't as high going into juniors. Wouldn't say I was scared, but it was just a little nerve-wracking going into the top junior league in the world and in the U.S. And the world. Yeah, we'll say the world. Yeah, it was definitely tough, but I mean, I got there and right away I felt welcomed by the coaching staff and all the players. They helped me so much. I mean, that was awesome for me. I mean, I was in a great situation. I got to play power play, penalty kill. It was awesome for me.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of guys that just their first year of junior hockey is the United States Hockey League, and then you're a rookie of the year, all second team, everything like that. So that's awesome, man. That's like people in this area. I think we're just getting a taste of it with the Black Bears in the North American League, but don't really know that there's this high level of hockey all over the country.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of people know about hockey in Richmond. You guys know that in Virginia, actually. So it was definitely nobody really knew about it, knew the jump that I made, but it's definitely it worked out for the best.
Love it. So, I mean, I believe it's twice. Correct me if I'm wrong. You get to put on that Team USA jersey. You have I think it's the 2018-2019 Junior A Challenge, and then the year after that in Czech. But the one in Canada right there is the one you guys went and win gold. So kind of talk about, I mean, you have a pretty good tournament yourself there. Talk about that experience right there, obviously. And then I believe the year after that, you go to Czech, right? And you guys come up short, but talk about those two tournaments.
Yeah, the World Junior A Challenge was awesome. I played with two guys from my team, so I had some comfortability going in there. I played with guys growing up that were on the team, so it was awesome. I mean, these guys were some of the best players in the USHL at whatever age we were, the 19 and under age group. So I mean, it was awesome going in there and winning gold and being able to wear the U.S. sweater every time is obviously a huge honor to represent your country. That was awesome for me. And the Czech was that was something else. That was a whole different ball game. It was.
Yeah, tell us about the differences. Me and Billman were actually talking. We were talking about the tournaments, and I was telling him, I was like, yeah, he's on the World Junior squad, and then he was on like the U19 squad. Like, what's the U19 tournament for?
So the World Junior A Challenge was the one just the USHL players. So it was whatever the 99 birth year through 01 birth year, the year I was there. So that was pretty awesome for me to get to experience that first, and then the World Juniors was something. It was the best players in the world. That was.
We could spend an hour just talking about the guys that played in that tournament.
Oh my God, Caulfield, Zegras, everybody, all those guys that are in the NHL now were on that team, and it was something. I mean, I went into camp that summer, and I didn't really expect much out of it. I just wanted to go and play my game, and then when I got the call in December that I made the tryout squad again, I wanted to go there and make the team, and I got pretty lucky. I'd say I was put into a good situation again there, and that tournament was awesome. I mean, playing against Canada that first game, it was sold out in warmups. It was crazy. I'd never experienced something like that before. I mean, UMASS, obviously we get a ton of fans, but going there and playing in front of 15,000 sold out Canadian fans in the Czech Republic, that was something else.
Well, I know you mentioned when you were surprised when you got the call, and I took note of a particular quote I found. It said, "Not a clue in the world. Even last year, about this time when I was chosen for the All American Prospects game, I didn't have a clue in the world that that'd even be an option. I guess I've always been a guy that kind of flew under the radar." And did that translate to, the draft? Like when you were drafted, did you know that was coming? Did you have an idea of like what round? Like at what point in time did you, figure out, hey, this is a legitimate option for me?
Yeah, so I mean, the first half of the my USHL year, I didn't talk to any NHL scouts. My teammates were always talking to scouts and stuff, and I just never got to talk to anybody. And the first team that talked to me was actually the Rangers in December, and I was in shock when I first got to meet with somebody. And from then on out, it just kind of rolled for me. I mean, the All American Prospects game, like I said, I had not a clue that I was going to make that game. Me and one of my teammates from South Kent made it, and I figured he would, but I was just in shock that I made it. And then once I made that game, it helped my confidence grow big time. I mean, I knew that I could play with the best players in the world, and it helped me.
Has it sunk in yet, man? I think I can still play with the best players in the world. I'm 28, turning 29. Like, you're an NHL draft pick. Like, has that sunk in yet?
I think it's sunk in more now. I mean, obviously, I try not to think about it that much. I mean, it's something that happened, and the next goal is to make the NHL. So.
Absolutely. Hey, well, don't worry. If you're not going to give yourself credit, we're going to pump your tires, and when you get there, we'll be banging on the glass too.
I appreciate that.
Are you in contact a lot with the Rangers in terms of like, did they kind of help you maybe steer you in the direction of in your off season, like, hey, work on this, work with these people, this, that, and the other? Or is that still pretty much all UMass is what you're concentrated on right now in terms of their staff and all of that?
Yeah. So, I mean, last summer was obviously weird with COVID, but the year before that, when I got drafted, I got to go to development camp, and they were awesome there. Every year, I mean, they've been talking to me probably once or twice a month at least, just about stuff I can work on in my game, everything like that. And then the UMass staff, I listen to more, I'd say, just right now, just because I'm here.
Yeah.
But, we come up here probably for 4 weeks, I'd say, and work out up here. But the development part of the game, they've helped me tremendously. They're always giving me points to work on my game, which is awesome. I mean, that's what you want in a player, or that's what I want in the development staff, is somebody that's trying to push me and get me better. So they've done a great job with that.
You're so complimentary of all your teammates and everyone around you. So this is the last one I'm going to ask about. But there's someone else that got drafted by the Rangers in the same year that you seem to have played with over and over. Kandre Miller. What's going on with him? Did you talk to him when you got drafted? Has he been, chatting with you? Are you guys pretty close? It seems like you gotta keep following each other around, right?
Yeah. So I didn't actually know Kandre at first. Like, he got drafted the year before me, and then I made the summer showcase, and he was there too. So I talked to him more there and got to know him a little better. And then I really got to know him at the World Juniors. He's a great kid, and he's been tremendous this year for the Rangers. He stepped in and worked his way into a top 4 spot into that lineup. And he's been something that nobody expected, honestly. Everybody things I read and stuff, everybody was thinking, oh, he's going to go to the AHL, spend a year there. No, he worked his way into that lineup and proved to people that he deserved to be in the NHL. And it's showing. He's a great defenseman. He's somebody that, he's 6'4", 200 pounds, an athlete. That's so hard to teach. You can't teach that.
So when you're pumping his highlights and retweeting them, is he going to return the favor for you?
I hope so. We'll see. I hope
all the Rags fans to see. Yeah. So let's get into some college here. We'll start with the recruiting process. Kind of, how did that go down? I'm sure you visited multiple schools, and inevitably, what was the deciding factor to make you choose UMass?
So I only got recruited by like 2 schools.
Wow, really?
So I committed right after my second U16 year at South Kent. So going into my junior year that summer, I committed here, and it was between here and Union. And the deciding factor was the coaching staff and the culture that they've built here. I mean, the year before I committed here, they'd won 5 games, 10 games, something like that. But I just had a feeling that, this coaching staff was going to work their way into a top program in the country. And you bring in guys like Cale Makar and Mario Ferraro, John Leonard, those guys, they turn the ship around here. All those guys, the seniors here that are with me now.
Rather quickly, too.
Yeah, really quickly. It was something that I never expected. I mean, I went into my USHL year and they were a top team in the country, I was like, holy cow, this is awesome. This is what I want to do. This is the college.
This is what I signed up for.
Exactly.
Yeah, literally.
Exactly. So they were the coaching staff here was so welcoming. I mean, I was 5'5", maybe 120 pounds when they committed me, but they just had faith in me. And that was the biggest thing for me, was having somebody that believed in me and believed in my game, and they had it from the get-go.
Love it. I mean, and impressive freshman year too, that 320 and 23 point wise. That we did see some Rangers articles. A lot of them question you, sustaining that productivity. And you kind of basically said, hold my beer, watch this. And your season right now, your sophomore season's been you're lighting it up again. So, I mean, I'm curious in terms of that offseason from your frost year to this year now, anything specifically you worked on? Like, what was the biggest part of your game that you had to improve? And then where all did you train and whatnot?
So I was up in Michigan last summer for 10 weeks, I think it was, working out with like the guys I was playing with the World Juniors team, Caulfield, all those top guys that played on the national team program. So
are you training at the national development place?
I was, yes. So I was working out there 5 times a week. I was skating with a skills coach up in Detroit for 4 times a week. It was awesome. This was the best summer I've had so far in my life, because in Richmond, there's great hockey players. I know a couple kids that are great players, but it doesn't compare.
Well, I was just going to say, they definitely don't have that, that's a top of the line training center for the national development team there. You don't get that in your backyard.
No, exactly. I mean, I can do all the push-ups and sit-ups I want at home, but going up there, that was something else for me. I mean, I worked on everything, my body, my conditioning,
and everyone else there's doing the same thing as you, right? Like you're surrounding yourself with like-minded folk.
Exactly. I was surrounded by the best players in the country, and that just pushed me to get that much better, because I wanted to be one of those guys. That's the goal I have. And getting to work out with them every day, see what they do all the time, it was awesome.
Yeah. And not just players, but coaches too. I mean, the amount of talent it comes through coaching wise in and out of those doors probably on a weekly basis is just
it was ridiculous. It was awesome. I was seeing NHL coaches, NHL scouts walk in, just talking to guys. Like it was pretty impressive up there.
There it is.
Well, that's awesome, man. But let's get to the present here. I know you got a busy week. We don't want to keep you too long. But you guys on a tear this year, 18, 5 and 4. What's making this group click? Like, what's so special? Is there a particular motivation, or is everyone, eyes on the prize? It's not a lot going on in the outside world right now.
Yeah, we don't listen to anything from the outside world. Our team is awesome. I mean, we don't have really anybody that's a top end pick or a top skill guy. We just have a bunch of guys that want to win and want to win a national championship. So that's awesome to be a part of. I mean, guys are coming in early every day. I mean, that's so inspiring to see as a young guy, when your captain's coming in at 8:00 in the morning, getting a workout in. That's awesome. And our team is we're a bunch of grinders pretty much. That's the best way to put it. I mean, we muck, we grind, and we just wear teams down. And it's been awesome so far. I mean, I'm so excited for this Frozen Four run we have, and hopefully it gets that national championship.
Yeah. And I mean, you guys, it clearly shows you win the first ever Hockey East tournament in program history. You make the all-tourney team. Talk about kind of what that means to the program. Obviously, you came in, like you mentioned back a couple minutes ago, you come in as a 5-win team, and now you're winning the first Hockey East championship. And
it's awesome. There. It's pretty cool to be a part of the first Hockey East team or Hockey East winning team at this school. I mean, all the guys that have been here the year that they made it to the national championship game, you would have thought they would have won it then. But even last year, we had guys. I mean, we lost Cale McCarr, Mario Ferraro, and everybody kind of thought, UMass is going to drop down. And that just gives us a little extra motivation. I mean, people are always doubting us. They're always going to doubt us, but we know what we have in that locker room, and we know what we're capable of.
And I mean, and obviously winning a conference championship, whether it's basketball here, coming into March Madness to Frozen Four, the run. I mean, you win that conference championship, and I feel like every time a squad does, your mindset's just immediately like, yeah, this is great, but like thought process, like, all right, we're immediately now going to go make a run for a natty.
Yeah, exactly.
Was that kind of first thought you get in that locker room after that game?
Yeah, we celebrated for that night, and that was it. We just turned the page, and we're focusing now on the national championship. That was our main focus last week, and we won the regionals. So now we got 2 more games.
Take us through, where you guys are at right now. Are you in a bubble? Where was the tournament taking place? What's going on there?
So in Bridgeport, it was we were staying in a hotel. We had to quarantine for a day and a half. The day we got there, and then another day after, and then we're still on campus. I've been at UMASS since August. Haven't left. Didn't get to go home for Christmas, Thanksgiving, none of that stuff. But it's been awesome. I mean, the bubble in Pittsburgh, I think, is the same thing as Bridgeport. So we'll be there, get there Monday, and then quarantine for a day and a half, and then get back on the horse, get prepared for Duluth.
So that first game, you guys, you play Lake State, 3 apples, not a big deal. Like, take us through, how that game went for you guys.
That wasn't even our best game. I thought our Bemidji game was 10 times better than the Lake State game. We have a certain style that we play, and we hold ourselves to such a high standard that if we drop off from that standard at all, you're going to hear it from our coaching staff. You're going to hear it from our head coach, and it's awesome. That's what you want. We just beat a team 5-1, and our coach was not yelling at us, but he was just giving us pointers and saying the next morning pretty much, we got to be better against Bemidji.
I'm going to call – go ahead, Zach.
We had a few defensive breakdowns against Lake State, and that could have cost us the game, but we got a tremendous goalie in File Lindbergh. He's been lights out this year, so that obviously doesn't hurt. And then going into Bemidji, we locked him down. That was our goal, and we played a much better game against Bemidji than Lake State.
Well, good journalism. My follow-up question was, you play Lake State, give up 30 shots, you still pump them, but then you go and play Bemidji and only give up 18 shots. My follow-up was going to be, what is the defensive style from that game to the next one and then heading into the Frozen Four?
We're a defensive team. That's our mindset. I mean, we have a couple goals on the board, and one of them is just to be below 2 goals against every game. And that's something that we pride ourselves on, is being a good defensive team. And we didn't play our best defensive game against Lake State. They had a few chances where you need your goalie to make a few saves, and having File back there, it's definitely pretty nice. So going into Bemidji, we knew we had to be better for him, because he was there for us against Lake State. We had to be better for him against Bemidji, and that's what we accomplished, I'd say.
So while playing in that defensive style, you're a guy that puts points on the board. Are you getting the green light in certain situations, or what can you attribute, the 2 years of pretty darn good production?
So I mean, our coaches give me the green light whenever. They know I'm an offensive guy. The one thing when I got here was they wanted my defensive game to be 10 times better than it was. And so I had to work on that. The first couple games in college were definitely hard, hitting bigger guys, going against faster guys. So the biggest thing that they told me when I came in was, we need you to be a two-way player. We need you to be out there against other guys' top lines and stuff like that. So, the offensive side of the game, they don't really tell me anything. Just the defensive side has been something that they've worked on with me most on, and it's been great.
So you don't have the Patrick Laine conversation going on?
No, not at all.
So, I mean, you guys are a team. We just talked about it coming in. You got a 5-1 win. You got a 4-0 win. It seems like you're kind of rolling here. And then Minnesota Duluth, the semifinal here on Thursday. They're a team coming off of that 5-4 overtime game. So kind of what's the scouting report here on Duluth? What's it going to take for you guys to pull out the win and head to that national championship?
Yeah, I mean, Duluth's a great team. They've been to the national championship the past 2 years. They've won it 2 years in a row. So, I mean, it's going to be a fun game. I mean, we haven't really done much scouting on them yet, but we know that they're a similar team to us. Defensive, they play a really structured game, and they don't get off the page at all. They know they don't beat themselves. That's the way they play, and we just know that if we play our style and play our game, we should be fine.
Do you notice a different style from the East Coast to those, the Midwest guys in college at all?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, obviously, East Coast teams, we got the BC, BU, all these top-end guys and stuff, but you can tell the NCHC and those leagues out there they're harder. They're definitely harder players. They grind just like us. I mean, it's going to be a grind. That's the best the best thing I got for it.
So, I mean, outside of hockey and this run you guys have been on, let's just take it from winning that Hockey East and up until now, outside of the rink, what's been the most enjoyable part about the entire run here?
I mean, just being around the guys all the time. I mean, we haven't really, obviously COVID rules, we can't really hang out with anybody. So we hang out with it as a team, and that's been, it's why we're so close. And I think that's why we've accomplished so much this year, is just being around the guys all the time has been awesome. I mean, you never get tired of seeing your teammates, and it's been great.
Yeah. Bobcat?
got 2 follow-up questions. First one is what's behind the number? Any decision making in the number process?
Nope, just random.
Random.
I had a few random choices at the beginning of my freshman year and just got stuck with 24. I've always had random numbers growing up.
You're gonna keep it? You're gonna keep that, or are you just gonna wait till you get to the Rangers and they're just like, all right, here's whatever number you get?
I think that's what I'm gonna do. I don't.
What they give you at dev camp?
I was 86 at development camp, so
that's his day. Young bees are there.
Yeah, couple random numbers I get, so I'm cool with whatever number I get. I don't.
My last follow-up question is, what were your thoughts on Barrelgate this year?
On who? Say again.
On Barrelgate with the World Junior squad. Where they
oh my god, I didn't even I had no idea what that was, honestly. I was so confused when I saw them take a picture with that. I was lost.
So you guys didn't do that the year before?
No, we had nothing like that. It was that was something new to me, and that was pretty crazy to see. I mean, obviously they took a lot of heat for it, but they had a reason behind it, and they accomplished their goal. That was awesome to see the guys that I played with the year before come back and have such a great tournament. Zegras, that guy's something else. So I mean,
he's all right.
Yeah, he's he's a decent player.
I guess my last question is, did you grow up? I mean, you stayed in the DMV for a while. Are you a Caps fan? Or were you a Caps fan? Sorry, because you're a Rangers fan now.
Nope. I hated the Capitals growing up. I hate them just because of all the bandwagon Richmond fans that would always hop on the train.
We'll scrub it.
Yep. I was an Ottawa fan growing up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why?
So, my dad knew the
Peter
for the Senators when they made it to the Cup in 05 or 06. So he got us tickets to go up there and see them. I got to go down to the locker room. Danny Heatley used to be my favorite player. That's why I wore 15 and 51 growing up because of him. And then Erik Karlsson got there, and he's a great player. He's somebody that used to be my favorite player. He still is, and that was the reason.
How about that clapper in the shootout? You see that?
That was something. That doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, Hartman did it right. Hartman did it right beforehand, so Karlsson just went down and whatever.
Yeah, he had to one up him a little bit.
Love it. So Thursday night, right? Semifinal 9 p.m. Hopefully you guys get it done. We'll be cheering for you. Obviously, local guy, just in the Frozen Four, man. We're pumped for it. We're definitely pumped for it.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Zach. Take care, buddy. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.